Hey everybody, Livingston here. Today we're jumping into another episode of The Twilight Zone. This time it's Season 2, Episode 7, Nick of Time. Came out November 17th, 1960, and it's another episode I haven't sat down and watched before. If you haven't yet, please like, share, and subscribe to continue on this voyage to Episode 156 of The Twilight Zone. I've enjoyed this so far. Season 1's been great. Season 2, I don't think holds up to Season 1 so far, but I'm looking forward to continuing on. Last week's episode was actually a very enjoyable, very high up in the ranks when it comes to Twilight Zone in general. Eye of the Beholder. So I'm going to jump into the comments section and see what people had to say about Eye of the Beholder. Akira Kurosawa says, one of my favorite episodes of The Twilight Zone. I'm glad you're one of the few that has reacted to all episodes back to back. Thanks. No problem, and I'm going to keep on trucking, but thanks for watching. JT Oland, or is it J Toland 2333? They say, this is my first visit to your channel and I'm impressed by your analysis. Love that you wrapped it up with trivia. That made it very interesting to me. Smiley face. Well, I appreciate it. I like the trivia too, and welcome to the channel. Appreciate you tuning in. And James Drynan says, directed by Douglas Hayes. He said it was a difficult episode to shoot because of camera angles and the makeup. Donna Douglas appeared 2 years before the Beverly Hillbillies debut. Her lines were spoken by Maxine Stewart. Herman's spooky music is great. A freaky story. Yeah, I actually go through that in the trivia section at the end of the video, but yeah, awesome to know that the director, Douglas Hayes, he just didn't really have a fun time, I guess, with the camera angles, but I guess it would kind of make you want to come up with some awesome shots, and he did. He came up with some wonderful things, some interesting ways that he kind of framed everything up, but really enjoyed the episode for sure. He continues on and says, the Howling Man reminded me of a quote from Baudelaire. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. The second was convincing the world he was a good guy. And JT or J Toland says amen to that. But yeah, I actually, when I hear that quote, I always think of The Usual Suspects, 1995 with Kevin Spacey. Really good movie. Well, you know, no matter what you think of Kevin Spacey, he does play a bad guy, so you can kind of look at it in that respect. But the movie itself is actually really great, awesome ending, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Peace Sparks 3419 says, thanks Livingston, I always look forward to your Twilight Zone commentaries. My dog ran out of the room when the doctor showed his face. LOL. I can understand why. It's definitely not a face I would like to look at. Maybe only one a mother could love. But yeah, let's continue on with Robert Jewell 9727 said, in my top 10 Twilight Zone episodes, and most of those episodes include, like this one, a score by Bernard Herrmann, who has such a tremendous sense of atmosphere and character. Yeah, Robert, I actually really enjoyed the score as well. A lot of scores I enjoyed, and I do sense that, I do know that a lot of the same score is used in a lot of the episodes, but I do see that a lot of episodes have their own such score, so it was very awesome to see that they kind of give a score to every single episode in some way, fashion, or form. Michael Stalling says, one of my favorite episodes, the blonde was Donna Douglas of the Beverly Hillbillies. Yep. And I was very surprised that it was her because, I mean, you didn't really see her until after her face was unwrapped and you realized it in the end, but I didn't realize it in the moment of actually watching the episode. I was very sucked into the actual story. But with that being said, let's jump into the episode and see what Nick of Time is all about.
The Twilight Zone.
Ooh, what a shaky camera. Didn't want to ride up front, huh? Tow truck driver's just a little creepy for you. William Shatner.
How long is this going to take?
Oh, 3-4 hours. Better figure on 4 to play safe.
4 hours. Captain James D. Kirk, Captain. I love me some Kirk. If you had to choose, would you go for Kirk or Picard if you're a Star Trek fan out there? Or do you like maybe Kate Mulgrew's, what is her name? Janeway. And then there was the one from Deep Space Nine, which I really didn't watch much of. But who's your captain of Star Trek? Let me know comment below.
Who is the best man for the job?
Me, but Thompson has seniority.
No. Great.
Hey now. Oh, romantic.
I thought we came in here to eat.
Yes, we did. So was it him?
Lovebirds.
Have we got here the Mystic Seer?
Well, let's try it, shall we?
It has a devil's head on in the Twilight Zone. I wouldn't trust it.
Does anything exciting ever happen around here?
It is quite
It is
possible.
quite possible.
The hand belongs to Mr. Don S. Carter, en route across the Ohio countryside to New York City. The time is now. The place is a little diner in Ridgeview, Ohio. Is that this town happens to lie on the outskirts of the Twilight Zone.
It's never good when you're very near the Twilight Zone.
I think I'll have a tomato and lettuce on whole wheat and some iced coffee, please.
I'll have the same.
I've got some very good chicken fried steak out there.
No, thank you.
No?
No.
Yeah. It's better than that salad of a sandwich with no meat. Guess she's vegetarian.
Good,
Great, he must have siphoned it out of a swamp.
These must be city folk.
What are you going to ask it now?
What else? Am I gonna be promoted for Pete's sake?
Maybe.
Hey, look.
Has been decided in your favor.
You see, your worries are over.
I think I'll phone.
Honey.
Well, I was gonna anyway. Hello, operator? Give me main 18997 in St. Louis, please.
Back when you had to call the operator. Lucky rabbit's foot. Oh, and a clover.
Is call necessary?
Here you are, operator. Connect me with Mr. Weldon's secretary, please. Fingers crossed.
I'm doing it up here.
Hello, Pauline. It's Don.
Hey, Don.
Fine, fine. And you?
I'm okay.
What's the secret word, Pauline?
Pepperoni.
I did. I made it. Goodbye, and same to you. Goodbye.
Yes.
You're now looking at the world's youngest office manager.
And,
So it granted the wish, or
yeah, well, I told you first.
what happens when it says that it wants you to do something, or gives you an answer you don't like? Does it happen in that respect then?
Crazy.
Oh.
You ain't gonna like this as much as you would that chicken fried steak.
Enjoy your salad sandwich.
Let's ask him something else. He really came through on that one.
Why don't you ask him why he didn't warn us the whole wheat bread is stale?
Does he, she love me? I know the answer to that one, huh? Will I become rich? I know the answer to that one, too. I'm going to be the world's first millionaire accountant.
Office manager.
Right. Is it really going to be 4 hours before we get out of here?
No.
You may never know. What does that mean?
It could be more, it could be less.
He does.
Well, it'll cost you another penny.
I'm an office manager now. What do you mean we may never know? No, that's not a yes or no question. Something will happen to us? If you move soon.
Uh-oh.
What does that mean?
The mystic. What do you expect?
Oh, he's taking it serious now.
Just one more. You mean if we're not supposed to move, we're supposed to stay here?
Just one question per penny, please.
And the answer is?
That makes a good deal of sense.
Do
we stay here until 2:30? Try again.
Try again. He's falling for it.
Should we stay in here until 3 o'clock?
You should have stopped putting pennies in the thing.
There's no question about it.
Okay, 3 o'clock it is.
Don, let's take a look around the town,
Did you hear what the box said?
You're joking, aren't you? Don, no more.
One more.
If we don't stay in here until 3 o'clock, something bad will happen to us?
Don,
Well, read it, yeah?
dare risk finding out.
Yeah, why tempt fate?
Don, let's go.
Oh, I haven't finished my sandwich yet.
Yeah, it's gonna take 50 minutes.
Don't you
The clock on the back says 2:10. Oh, it's gonna be a long time. She has barely eaten her sandwich. Just 4 more minutes.
Can we go now?
Don't you want something cold to drink?
Please, let's go.
Come on, man. Just a little longer. So you have to use the restroom.
Can I have my check?
You don't need a check. I know what you had.
Keep the change.
Well, thanks. Then come on back now.
Uh-oh. And what will happen?
Hot, hot, hot.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't take them 4 hours to fix the car, think? Didn't really want to stay in there, did you? Honest?
Well, why was it so specific? That makes a good deal of sense. Try again. There's no question about it. You may...
It's just a napkin holder in a little cafe in Ridgeview, Ohio.
Yeah, don't take it that serious.
I know. All right, what about my promotion then? Didn't it tell me it has been decided in your favor? Isn't that? I suppose I'm just being stupid.
No, you're not. You're just...
Don't say it.
An idiot.
Superstitious.
Yes.
Rabbit's feet and 4-leaf clovers in my pockets, in the car.
And you're all mine.
Aw.
What are you doing?
What?
Well, you keep looking around as if...
Do I?
Waiting for something bad to happen.
Don, I wonder when you act like this.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to upset. It doesn't change the facts, sir.
What facts?
6 straight answers.
Oh, Don.
Treating me like a retarded child.
Oh, well, that's not a word we use today now, is it? Hey, saved your life. Hey, see? 3 o'clock. You almost ate it. You tempted fate. Just don't go back in that diner.
Well, where are we going now? We're not going back to that...
Why not?
Yeah, I gotta ask that thing again.
Just the same, you will admit that for a coincidence, it was pretty far-fetched.
Maybe.
It's not that far-fetched if 2 things in a row happened due to what that machine was saying. We're back. We want pie. There's not another one at another booth?
Someone's sitting in front of our mystic seer. Don, why don't you try this one or one of the others? I'm sure that...
Is it the same, though? Or is it just that one?
Look at me. Gizmo can foretell the future, do you?
Possibly.
It foretold ours.
Twice.
Oh, back already. What'll you have?
Honey?
Oh, I'll have some iced coffee, please.
How about you?
See?
All right. How?
When that car almost hit us, it was 3 o'clock. Exactly when that machine said it.
Actually, you said 3 o'clock.
You said 3 o'clock.
Yep.
You decided to sit in here as long as we did. Can't you see that you made up all the details? That you could even consider the possibility of...
Will you listen? Excuse me.
Yes?
Can you give me some pennies?
Oh, sure.
As many as you like. Feed that machine.
Did you know about the car almost hitting us?
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, that's not really an answer.
Will we reach New York all right now? Your chances are good. Is he in Patsy's or house by you?
Excuse me.
I never said these slips were made for us personally. I only said
I
that...
heard.
Sorry, honey.
You could get the same kind of answers from any one of these machines in here.
The same kind, maybe, but not the same answers. Will it still take 4 hours before the car is ready?
4 from this point or from when it started?
It has already been taken care of.
Well, let's go.
Your car's ready.
Okay.
Found a fuel pump right here in town. Last one they had, too.
We'll be right over.
Okey doke.
So it's 3.
Coincidence?
Yes.
All right, then you ask it some questions.
Yeah. She's afraid to. She's a believer at this point.
Will we reach Columbus by tomorrow?
We're not going through.
Survey
If that's
says.
what you really want.
Oh.
Will I ever be married?
Uh-oh.
The answer to that is obvious.
Oh, well.
It's not possible to foretell the future, is it?
That's up to you to find out.
These aren't even answers.
You're just a stupid piece of junk, aren't you?
It all depends upon your point of view.
I don't want to stay here anymore, Don.
Well, it's actually answering.
Even if it's true?
Especially if it's true.
What are you talking about? Of what then?
Don't you know?
Are we always going to live in St. Louis?
No.
Are we going to live in the East? Are we going to live in the West?
Are you gonna be dead?
Are we going to live in this country?
Don, let's go. Are you just going to stay here?
Yep. Forever.
Sweetheart, listen to me. Please, if you love me, just listen to me.
No, you listen to me. This machine is predicting our future. Do you think I could just walk away from it?
I'm not talking about that machine anymore. I'm talking about you. You're just going to sit here and let that thing run your life?
Run my life?
Yeah. What would you do?
Isn't that exactly what you're letting it do? It made you call the office before. It made you stay here instead of leave. And now it's telling you where you're going to live. What matters is whether you believe more in luck and in fortune than you do in yourself. You can decide your own life.
Right.
You have a mind. Wonderful mind. Don't destroy it trying to justify that cheap penny fortune machine.
She's making sense.
We can have a wonderful life together if we make it wonderful.
Yeah, man. She seems like a good one.
I want us to make it happen together.
Don't cry, darling. Don't cry.
There's something wrong?
Yeah, your box sucks.
We'll go. We'll go. You're right. I'm a jerk.
No, you're not. You're wonderful.
I'm the world's biggest jerk. Let's go get our car. That's right. Let's go get our car. We'll drive out of this town and go where we want to go. Anytime we please.
Yeah.
And I love you.
I love you too. All right. Now, hightail it out of here.
And keep the change.
Thanks.
No problem.
Come back now.
Probably not. Uh-oh. A new couple. And I think he's been here before.
Can we ask some more questions now?
What?
Do you think we might leave Ridgeview today?
What? Probably like, no. You can't. It's up to you.
Two people permanently enslaved by the tyranny of fear and superstition, facing the future with a kind of helpless dread.
And they have left, making their own future.
Having escaped one of the darker places of the Twilight Zone.
Huh. Now that episode, I actually really enjoyed. Probably my favorite one of the season so far. I enjoyed Eye of the Beholder. I know that it ranks really high in a lot of people's lists when it comes to the Twilight Zone episodes as a whole. But when it came to this one, I just thought it was more appealing in what was going on. Was it the machine that was doing everything to him? Was it fate that it was just pointing out the future at some, what was going to happen to him? But he asked the question 3 o'clock. He also was, up on his game when it came to business. It seemed like he was very good at what he did as well, and he was getting everything right in life. But then this machine, he sticks one penny in, very superstitious guy, and, he ends up kind of falling prey to this thing that I guess captured a couple in the end, that William Shatner and his wife ended up driving off, luckily, because he had someone good telling him, don't stay, don't be here. But it's really that age-old question, what would you do if you had a magic 8-ball that actually gave you the answers to the future? I mean, would you actually keep it around, and because it would tell you the good and bad that's coming? Do you want to know what your future's going to be? And I think most people would probably say no. I mean, I think a lot of people want to know certain things, like where if anything good happens to them, but they probably don't know. They probably don't want to know, like, the day they die, or when someone else might pass away, or if something bad actually happens, or some accident, or something that's going to change the trajectory of your life in some way or fashion that you didn't see coming, and not in a good way. It's the age-old question, is our lives controlled by fate, or is it random? Let me know, comment below what you think. Is it random, or is it fate? Also, I liked how the teller's box says yes or no questions, but doesn't give yes or no answers. It was always back and forth on certain, depending on what Shatner asked. It never actually gave like a straightforward kind of answer, so I thought that was kind of funny. But let's get into some trivia of this episode and see what it took to get this episode off the ground. Richard Matheson was so impressed with Patricia Breslin's portrayal of William Shatner's character's wife that he lobbied for her to be given a similar role in Shatner's second and last Twilight Zone episode, Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, which came out in 1963, and this sadly did not happen. That's too bad. I actually liked her in this role. I don't really remember if she's actually been in anything besides Twilight Zone. I'm sure she's been in other things, but from her profile it says she's been in a movie called Homicidal, 1961, The People's Choice, 1950 to 1958, which was a TV series, The Best of Broadway, and Go Man Go, a 1954 movie. But it looks like she kind of bailed out in 1969. The last thing her being in was a 26-episode run on General Hospital, so that's interesting. This is the first Twilight Zone episode to feature a future Star Trek 1966 regular. In this case, William Shatner, James Doohan, Leonard Nimoy, and George Takei later all had guest appearances on the Twilight Zone, albeit none of them in the same episode. Oh, that's cool. It's something to look forward to. Too bad we don't have Nichols in there, or not James Doohan. What's his name? The guy who plays Walter Koenig, Chekhov. Patricia Breslin, Pat Carter, and William Shatner, Don Carter, their names, were born 5 days apart. Breslin was born March 17, 1931, and Shatner was born March 22nd, 1931, which is the year my grandma was born, and it's also the year that, not the year, but the month where I'm born, March 19th, right between. This is not the first time that Twilight Zone uses the MGM's Town Square on Backlot 2 for its stories, but it is one of the episodes that offers the most viewing angles, including the barely visible railroad tracks inset into the pavement, which lead to the small town depot, used in countless films and television shows until the late 1970s. Well, that's pretty cool. I actually didn't realize it was the backlot. I've not been told is no excuse known by observing, thinking, studying, doing. This is a sign on the wall in the garage, which you can see as the car is towed in. Okay. In the opening scene, the couple ride to the garage in their car as it's being towed. That would be illegal in most places today and would be prohibited by most towing firms for insurance reasons, even in areas with no explicit laws prohibiting it. Apparently, people were more relaxed about such things in 1960. Yeah, I would say so, because it seemed kind of weird to me when I seen them riding in the back with the car being towed. But the title was a pun, both on the last-minute escape of the couple from their psychological prison, as well as the name Old Nick being a term for the devil. In addition, Arthur Richard Matheson has been quoted as saying that he also considered the title to mean that time keeps nicking, cutting into each of us as we live our lives. Yeah, that's true. More we live, the older we get, and the older we get, the less time we have, and it's just a ticking clock. Really sad. Literally, kind of a low way of ending the episode, I guess. But anywho, it was actually a fairly decent ending for the couple from the actual episode, which is kind of rare when it comes to Twilight Zone episodes. But let me know, comment below what you thought of the Twilight Zone episode, Nick of Time. I'd like to know your thoughts, and I will read them next episode, next Wednesday, and go from there. So until next time, see you later.